Put
put
a
the power
pin in
slap
it.
away.
Put a pin in the power slap. Bam! Look at that. What a great transition.
How's it going?
How's it going, sir? Thickness.
I'm doing good. Hello.
I was trying to, I kept thinking of a parody song to Sickness today. Oh, I was at work. Who
Down
sings?
with the thickness?
Yeah, yes.
Down with the sickness?
Yeah, I was trying to put actual lyrics to the entire thing. And then I was like,
oh, okay.
Isn't that something like AI could do? Like AI should be able to do that for me. Just put all your
I never even thought about that.
right.
Like I've always thought like I should just email Disturb's manager or whatever or their social media and be like, you guys want to do this for me if you have a funny joke, but I can just get AI to do it now.
Yeah, just get chat. What is that? Chat GPT. Just get it.
Have them do the lyrics.
Yeah, we need lyrics. We need a parody song lyrics to the song. Who sings that? Disturbed.
Yep.
Disturbed's song "Sickness," I think is the name of it, right? Is it "Sickness" or "Down"?
Down with the sickness.
Okay. To the independent wrestler from Alberta, Canada. I believe it's Alberta.
Mm-hmm.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yep.
You're
right.
The thickness, Reid Mathews. Here's some information about him, and we just throw in some information. We get that off of Cage Match or Love.
Be careful. Cage Match doesn't have all the right information, I learned.
No. What did they have wrong on you? I didn't use it.
I think it says I'm from Ontario.
Oh, no. I learned you are from Alberta.
I am.
I did learn that.
And then I know it. I think other than that, I think it's just missing like a bunch of my matches from before COVID. But I remember another interview I did. They're like, "Yeah, you're from Ontario." I'm like, "No, I am not. I don't know where you got that information."
Producer of the show, Vanessa, who contacted you, she is from Ontario. She wasn't mistaken. She knew you were from Alberta. But the reason she booked you was based on your name alone, the thickness.
Fantastic! It's finally working.
That's it. Like that's what it should. We do that a lot, or Vanessa does it a lot, and I love it. She'll book people on their name or their look, or I think maybe you just saw like one promo once, and we booked them, and it was just great stuff. And it's just fun. Overall, fun.
That's really cool.
The king of thick style.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, tomorrow at work. My shoot job when I have nothing to do, usually between the hours of 2:30 and 3:30, I will get on ChatGPT. We'll get that done.
Perfect.
It'd be no problem. Let's see. How do I want to go with this? First of all, thanks for giving us your time tonight.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, anytime. I got some notes and some bullet points. We don't follow them a lot. We try not to be. What's the word? How can I say it without insulting every other stupid podcast? We try not.
You have bullet points. You might hit them, you might not. You're not following a script.
No, I'm not following a script. Although I did let ChatGPT interview a guest one night. I never told any. I think I told Vanessa, but that I did it. But I didn't say what guest it was. And it was really interesting. So I took a couple of their other interviews and gave it to the artificial intelligence that will destroy us someday. Mm-hmm. And I said, this is how our show is. We're kind of laid back and this type of this. And we want to ask different questions. And here's a bunch of information. Here's some other things they did. Can you spit me out some questions or a format? And it was awesome. I was amazed at the response I got back.
That's impressive.
I did it that night, and it was so good. I don't even remember who it was. That's
fascinating because I know I've went on to ChatGPT before, and I'm like, let's see if I can like book a wrestling show, but like unless you give it enough information on people, it can't do anything. So like when I was like trying to book a local indie show, I'm like, I guess we're not famous enough to have any information.
The whole issue I have right now is that it's just not smart enough yet. It only can go up. The free version only goes up to
it's true
2021. I'm not paying for it. So I can't get some things. But what else did we do that night, Vanessa? We had ChatGPT tell us the official Mount Rushmore of wrestling. We also had them recast the Marvel movies with wrestlers.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. It's also dangerous.
Oh, incredibly dangerous.
Probably. Just not good for humanity. But what you do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. So, how does watching a WWE documentary click a light bulb on for you and you're like, you know what? I can do this.
That's an interesting question. I think this kind of falls back on like just kind of like stuff from my childhood. Like I loved watching like the animated music videos, the AMVs from the early days. Like when like a bunch of people take Linkin Park videos and make a music video with Dragon Ball Z clips.
Oh, I see.
And so like seeing like the cinematography and like and how like they really make you feel the moments, like when The Rock comes back and he's hitting that promo and he's hitting his points, right? And just those feelings of like that entertainment factor. I'm like, that sounds so cool, and like the physical aspect of it was really cool because like I did high school wrestling, so like it wasn't like a huge step. So I think it just kind of built on all those things building up to it.
I'm trying to be professional and put a PR tweet out while you talk. It was The Rock's documentary, correct? WWE documentary.
That was the first one, and then from there it was just like the next one, the next one, the next one, the next one, the next one. Until eventually I'm like, this gotta still be on TV. This can't be gone.
It's that simple. That's how you get into wrestling. Mm-hmm. You said you had a background in amateur wrestling, in sports, in high school at a young age. Did you play any other sports?
I mean, so we were a small school, but I pretty much just played any sport I could.
Nice.
I did track and field, I did golf, I did cross country, basketball, hockey, volleyball, pretty much anything my school offered, I played.
Nice, staying busy.
Yeah, I think I just liked this, like the being with people and playing around and a little bit of the competitiveness.
Uh-huh.
And then as I got older, I didn't really do anything much after I graduated school until I picked up wrestling again.
So you had the background in sports. You got the documentary. You're like, this is what I can do. I do have that background in amateur wrestling. That leads you straight to Lance Storm's school, or was there somewhere else in between that?
There was another school. I was in talks with them. I was visiting Calgary at the time, and I'm like, I just want to like come down, see the school, see how it is, like because I have no clue what to expect. And they just never got back to me. There was a communication issue. And then a friend of my dad's was like, "Oh, you should try Lance's school." So like looked up Lance's school, and Lance has all his information out there, so it was really easy to see everything. And that's pretty much how we ended up at Lance's. It was literally just because someone recommended it.
Is it true that Lance Storm has no personality or sense of humor?
No, I think Lance is trying to find the right words. Because like Lance has like his quirks, and Lance has like his things he likes. Like he was a huge Walking Dead fan at the time when I was in school, and one of my other classmates was a huge Walking Dead fan. So they would talk about it for like hours, all the time. They're messaging about it. So I think it was just one of those things where like if you had common ground with him, he'd open up. Otherwise, he kept things professional, and that's just I guess that's just a motto he's always lived by.
Right, break through that hard exterior, and he's
essentially.
He's a badass with a heart of gold. I think that's what they said on Family
exactly.
So I think that was, if I can remember my prepping, that's around 2015. You're at Lance's school. You're in there training. You also, do I have this right? You trained with Giselle Shaw as well?
Yep.
Nice.
Yep, Giselle and I were in the same class.
In the same class. Oh.
Yep, and my first match, technically, too.
Okay, so both at Lance's school?
Yep.
Nice. Did you find, so when you first get to Lance's school, when you first start training in general, with your background in sports, specifically wrestling, did you find training for professional wrestling easy? Did you pick it up easy or no?
So it came fairly easy, but it was surprising. Like I remember when I was walking in, I'm like, I have like very little like history knowledge of wrestling. It's like I have like nothing to really base off of. I'm just going to go in. I'm going to be a sponge. I'm going to absorb it all and just try my best every time. And then so like as we're doing like learning the warm up drills and like learning everything, everything came very easily. And I remember I'd be like sitting on the bus ride home and it'd be like literally everything I've done helped for this moment, and it's the craziest thing to this day. Like, you know, being in wrestling in high school, you learn to like fall on the mat properly, which transitioned to bumping.
Right.
You know, footwork when I played basketball and volleyball, it's all about your footwork, right? So like it all like somehow unironically, because like I said, I didn't know wrestling at the time, came to this moment where I first got into the ring, and it's like everything was easy from there.
So you didn't grow up watching wrestling?
No, actually, a lot of my friends actually like now that I go back in my history, like they would mention like Triple H and Undertaker and all them, and I had not a clue. Couldn't tell you who they were. I never watched a single little bit of wrestling other than like a clip from wrestling that I'm not even sure is real or not because I don't remember the names, and so it just kind of escaped me, and I never dived into it. Never like, hey, like show me what this is, and so like they all knew about it and I didn't. And I just did wrestling in high school because I thought it'd be fun.
Yeah. No, I get it. That's interesting. So when you go, like you said, you went into the training at Lance's school. You're like, oh, I know how to flop, or I know how to take a bump. I got the footwork. That comes easy. But did you find it challenging when it came time to like promo time or maybe psychology in the ring? And I say that because you didn't have that history of watching wrestling your entire life.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, those are definitely the aspects I struggled with the most. Especially when I first started wrestling, I was very shy. Like, I didn't really talk a lot. Like, I am the most social I've ever been now, compared to, like, when I first started. And when it came to, like the psychology and stuff like that, you know, like, Lance would try and teach us a few things, but it's like, I had nothing to go off of. So I'm just like, okay, like I'll take the information as I can, and then it's not until like, you know, in some instances, like even today, I'm like, makes sense now, right?
Yeah.
So that's where I struggled, but I think having stuff like Michael Richard Blaze opening up the Clandestine Society Wrestling School, where I can like go in every once in a while and like just kind of work and grind on those things, right, to really like enhance my new psychology brain and stuff, and my promo brain and stuff like that really helps.
Do you go back now and watch wrestling? Maybe that happened when you were a kid to pick up on things and nuances and stuff.
I would say sometimes I have a very bad habit of like I'll be like, oh yeah, wrestling. I'll be like watching everything I can, and then I don't want to use the term burning out because I'm not really burnt out of it, but I guess I just get like bored.
Yeah.
And I move on to the next thing, and then the next thing, and the next thing, and then I'm like, oh, I haven't watched wrestling in 9 months, but like I'll keep up with the pay-per-views, right? Like that's the extent. So like every now and then I'll go back, but still nowadays it's just whatever's current.
Wrestling they say it all the time, and it's probably become like a cliche, or the kids say a meme. Like wrestling is the male soap opera. In a good soap opera, you can take chunks of time off, not watch it, and jump right back in and fit smoothly. I did it constantly with the Guiding Light. Constantly.
Like especially with like how WWE's running their programming now.
Yeah.
Like they're really making so it'll be like you could have never watched wrestling a day in your life, but as soon as you watch Monday Night Raw, you're caught up.
Right.
You know everything that's happening. They fill you in with the promo videos and the vignettes and the promos and everything. They fill you in from top to bottom so that anybody starting can be caught up. And that's the really cool thing about nowadays.
Someone in the chat, Erush, says there's nothing wrong with just watching WWE pay-per-views.
No, I think it's just at this point, like, you know, I'm married, I have other things I want to do, so it's just like the most convenient thing. I'm like, oh, it's pay-per-view time, you know, watch the pay-per-view. And then move on. And then, you know, if I get interested, I'm like, oh, maybe I'll watch Dynamite tonight, or I'll put on some wrestling videos at work on my lunch break. But
there you go.
It just with my schedule, that's just how it ends up now.
I wanted to rewind for a second back to when you were just getting started or whatnot. When you told your family, your parents, were they supportive? Were they behind you? Were there how were their reactions?
Oh, they were supportive. It's one of those weird ones where it's like you think like, oh, wrestling's such like an outrageous thing. Parents would never support it. But I think like at that point, my parents were just like, oh, he wants to do something. Let's go. Because at that point, I was like iffy on everything I wanted to do, but I was like, I want to wrestle, I want to try and wrestling, I want to do the wrestling school, I want to do this. And so I guess they just saw that like I was gung ho about it, and were like, oh, you know what, we'll support him if that's what he wants to do. That's what he wants to do.
You talked about how you're extremely shy and like maybe the promo aspect and the psychology aspect of initial training and whatnot was challenging for you. But I disagree with all that because I've seen some of these online vignettes, the Archer reports. I went back and watched some of those today, and I would have never guessed that that was a struggle for you.
Yeah, like the Archer reports is really when I started coming out a little bit more on the promos. Go really far back, like when I was in the Millennial Rebels, there was like a string of promos where I said nothing other than thickness. That's all I did.
It's classic.
Mainly because so like Colton Kelly and Kenneth Anthony, they'd hit all the points needed to talk about, and I'm like, I have nothing to add. My name, and it just kind of became funny between the three of us, and I just kind of continued it until like we had, I think it was, I want to say it was like our blow off match for a rivalry, and I said like a couple words, and then when Thaddeus came around and started doing these promos, that's when things kind of got a little better. And then as COVID came around, I didn't wrestle as much, but then I picked up streaming, so then I was like trying to talk a lot more. Okay. So then when I came back into wrestling after COVID and I was doing promos, it felt a lot easier.
Nice. Yeah, see? Twitch is a benefit. Get better at promos. Sign up for Twitch. There.
Right? Just constantly have feel the need to talk and not have dead space.
I've been doing it. I've been doing it for years. Trust me. You get those waves of. Yeah, we could go on a whole tirade. You mentioned COVID, and there was that big time, and we talked to a ton of talent during that time. It feels like it was yesterday, but gosh, I mean, it was 2 years ago now, give or take. What did you, okay, so you went back to school. All right. Let me see if I can get this straight. You went to school.
A lot happened in COVID.
A lot happened. But I want to talk about what you went to school for, which was, I want to say an architect, but it's not an architect. What you're going to do is you're going to take Mike Brady's blueprints. Mike Brady, an architect on the Brady Bunch, allegedly. Yep. You're going to take those blueprints and you're going to put them on this computer right here, and make sure that it all works. What the guy drew out will work in the real world on a computer digitally.
Yeah, that's kind of like my dumbed down approach of it. Yeah.
What was that, Vanessa?
Like AutoCAD.
Yep, AutoCAD, Revit. Yeah. There's a bunch of really cool softwares. But yeah, that's like the easiest way I explain it to people, because like there's like other things about it, but I think like the general thing is I don't design things. I just make sure they actually can work.
Interesting.
I'm like dotting the I's, crossing the T's.
Someone else said that today at work. I'm being told Mike Brady was an engineer. No, Mike Brady was an architect. Look it up. Everyone says cross your T's and dot your I's, right? Like, what? Why can't we say dot the lowercase j? I don't get it.
Honestly, I don't know why. I don't know. Right? We could. You honestly could.
We could. We totally could. That seems tough to me. I feel not dotting the lowercase j. I feel taking what someone makes and make it digitally using code to figure out if it's all going to work and whatnot. So if I gave you a blueprint of this studio,
yep.
And I say, okay, here's my blueprint thickness. I want to do this and this. I want to move this here, and I want to put this setup here and this and that. I hand that to you. You're going to tell me if that'll work or not?
A lot of that kind of stuff tends to be more like just interior design aspect.
Oh, okay.
Like, it would be more so to be like, hey, thickness, I want to put a wall here so I can make this room. And then I'll be like, well, okay, well, let's check, like the building codes and permits and stuff like that, and make sure you're actually allowed to do it and you have the proper spacing and that it makes sense at the end of the day.
Interesting. I don't follow. Well, somebody followed a lot of building codes here. I did not. I just bought it this way.
That's fair.
It's fair enough, right?
Mhm.
Also during COVID, you mentioned you did some streaming on Twitch, which is
Yep.
I may have this wrong because I don't even know if I have the link. We do have your links going up on Twitter or X. I'm not entirely sure what to say, but it is twitter.com thethickness7 as well as instagram.com/thethickness7. Now, your Twitch is The Thickness Gaming?
It's Thick Gaming.
Thick Gaming.
Pretty close. Yeah.
Way better. What do you like to play? Are you gonna get back to it? Do you have plans to get back to it?
Oh man, I mean, I kind of took a little break from Twitch, and I was trying streaming on YouTube for a while.
Okay, I feel that.
Just kind of playing whatever I want. My wife suggested that I react to buildings. Like my last stream I did last night, I went on Remax and I was looking at all these billionaire homes and critiquing.
That sounds fun.
Yeah. Well, because I was having this conversation with her because I feel like sometimes like when you're playing a game you get really intense and you say nothing because you're so focused on everything, and I'm like, well, that's not entertaining.
Yep. No, it's
and then she's like, well, like we can't go to a restaurant without you complaining about how something's built. I'm like, well, I guess that's a good idea then.
Oh man, I got a brother-in-law who complains every time we go out to eat, but it's mostly about the food and his service and how quickly it gets there. But otherwise, no, I like that. I like that reacting to like lifestyles of the rich and no, that's a Lost Boys song. What's that guy's name? Lifestyles of the rich and famous.
Yeah, it's Good Charlotte.
Yeah. But there was a show. Robin Leach hosted it. There it is, and he would go around and show off people's homes. And all that fun stuff. You could react to that. You could react to Cribs on MTV back in the day. Yep.
There's even a channel, I think it's Architecture Daily. It's AD. And they go around and they go through famous people's homes as well.
Yeah, lifestyles of the rich and famous. Yeah, that'd be good. You know, we do wrestling, allegedly, here on this channel. I'm putting you over. And people say, you know, you guys should react sometimes to live wrestling stuff. But I was like, you know, everybody's doing that. So I've started literally reacting to wrestling reactors. That's what I thought of doing.
That's a smart idea, right?
Bad idea, right?
Trying to do something new.
Oh my God. Some people are just, they don't know how to sell. They don't know how to sell to react. They're real stiff.
Yep. Just missing their points.
Missing their points.
Missing their spots. Like
missing their spots. They're a little Lance Storm and not enough Santino Marella.
Yeah.
Exactly. You get me up there in Canada.
I get it. Yeah.
Honorary Canadian. What else is the Thickness do in his downtime?
Oh man, it's really it. Like especially with how just like work has been and whatnot. Since like work, come home, just kind of hang out with my wife. We'll go to the gym, you know, stream maybe, or we'll watch, you know, Netflix for hours on end. And so we actually we were watching The Office.
Oh, nice.
We never ever watched it. So
yeah.
I want to say we're like season 6. We're absolutely loving it.
Yeah, spectacular. I didn't watch it either when it was first out, and I just like recently wrapped it up. And I've watched it. I think I've watched it another watch through again since then. My oldest daughter loves it. I would recommend Parks and Recreation after that, unless you want a break from that type of show. If not, Parks and Rec, go right into that next.
All right, I'll put that on the list.
Shout out to Peacock for those. I don't know. Is The Office on Netflix? Wait, maybe it is up in Canada.
The Office is on Netflix. I want to say Parks and Rec's on Crave. I could be wrong on that one.
I don't even know what Crave is. Is that a Canadian thing, Vanessa?
Yeah, we don't have Peacock up here.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I knew that. You guys still got the great WWE network.
Not really. It's not as good as it once was.
No, it's not.
No, because it's under like the Sportsnet app or something like that, and it's like impossible to use.
Oh,
and it's only a channel now. Like the app doesn't exist anymore.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, The Office is great. Phenomenal. I just started a show on Netflix last night called The Travelers, which my brother suggested I watch it a while ago, and I tried it, and I didn't get into it at first, but I did get into it last night, but then I fell asleep. Classic. Sit down, watch something with your wife, fall asleep about an episode and a half in.
But hey, if you're hooked an episode and a half in, though, that's pretty good.
Yeah, not bad, right?
I guess I'm watching personally an anime called Kuroko Basket. It's a basketball anime.
A basketball anime?
Yeah, it's actually very good. I'm hooked.
Hold on. What is it called?
Kuroko's Basket.
Okay, I'll never be able to spell that. K?
Yeah. Actually, I might have to just throw Netflix on here just so I can remember how to spell it.
Basket? Oh, look at this. Yeah. Interesting. 3 seasons. Kuroko's Basketball.
Yep. Kuroko's Basketball.
And that's a show, not a video game?
That's a show.
Wow.
It's an anime.
Interesting. Yeah, Erush in the chat says Kuroko's Basketball. He knew what it was. Wow, look at that.
Yeah, it's very good. I've been enjoying it. It's pretty much while I'm driving, it's playing. On lunch, it's playing. It's been my obsession lately.
While you're driving?
Yeah, because I got quite a bit of long drive, so I'll just put it on and I'll just let it play and I'll just listen to it.
Okay. You don't want to be watching. You don't want to be glancing over at a fadeaway.
No.
No,
it's very, very descriptive, so it's really easy to not have to watch it.
Interesting. I've never heard of a sports-centric anime. That's probably me being extremely...
There's actually quite a few. Like there's one called Haikyuu, which is a volleyball one, which is very popular. And there's another one that's kind of getting popularity called Blue Lock. It's a soccer anime.
Oh. Yeah, I'm sure.
They're there.
I'm sure it's a me thing. User error. Interesting. Well, yeah, you learn something new every day, Vanessa. I do have to technically try to make this a wrestling show. I
totally understand. You better stop me. I'll get caught on tangents on stuff.
No, I will too. Anime I won't, but I'll get on tangents. But I have written down here to promote Love Pro Wrestling and LPW and CWS 6, I believe, coming up. I just don't. I have it that down here. I just don't know who you're wrestling.
I don't think it's out yet, so
okay.
I won't put any spoilers out there.
No,
don't. If you can't ever make to the drive to Edmonton for Love Pro Wrestling, definitely watch it. It's just like a step beyond lots of other ones. Like I don't even know how to explain it because before COVID, I wrestled for the Prairie Wrestling Alliance,
PWA,
and that was in my opinion, was the go-to wrestling promotion you wanted to work for. And then COVID came around and they stopped, and then Love Pro picked up, and Love Pro just took whatever PWA had and then just elevated it to a new level. So I think it's absolutely phenomenal from the locker room to the wrestling to everything in between. So definitely, if you can't ever make the drive out to Edmonton, definitely watch it.
We've had Spencer on this show a couple times, I believe. Friend of the radio program. He's doing great things with Love Pro Wrestling.
Mm-hmm. So he really is, and you can tell he really, really wants to put it all out there.
Yes,
the man puts heart and soul on the line with this company
for sure. So definitely don't spoil who you're taking on because
no, I won't.
It'll ruin his.
Spencer will come after us.
He will come after us. But I mean, you could if you wanted to.
No. I won't do that. I gotta keep some suspense.
We are a live show, so when I say have a good night, don't say who you're wrestling after that because we're still live.
No, that's fair. Thank you.
I'll say that now. We've run into a few instances where we had that come up, right, Vanessa?
Yes.
We had a couple things that some talent wanted to tell us after the fact, and I had to cut them off because that's just how we work. We're just live. We stay live. So I'll say that now. I've never done that before, but just in case.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for heads up.
Yeah, you know how to keep it kayfabe. Yeah, so Love Pro Wrestling, LPW CW6. Did you give the date on that? I don't have the date.
Usually the day before. So Love Pro Wrestling is the last Friday of every month, and the Love Pro Wrestling Clandestine Wrestling Society is usually every Thursday, last Thursday.
Okay.
So they coincide together.
That will be interesting.
Yep.
Well, we've talked about the documentaries that hooked you into wrestling. We talked about your background in sports. We talked about how Lance Storm doesn't have a personality. We talked about how's Giselle Shaw? What you guys were in the same school, and then you had your first match.
Yep.
I mean, she's doing big things.
Yep. Super proud of her. Like I have a lot of respect for Giselle, but like Giselle at the end of the day is also like a friend of mine.
Yeah.
Like when she came down for Love, she's just like, I gotta find Reid, I gotta say hi to Reid, and there was another show she was doing, and I just like showed up to like watch the show, and one of the other wrestlers was like, "Oh, Giselle's looking for you." So like I love Giselle. Giselle's the best.
I had this written down. I probably should have asked it earlier, but I forgot. As a Canadian wrestler, do you find it in the world of pro wrestling? Do you find it challenging? We've talked to a ton of talent who find the fact that they're a Canadian wrestler hard to break through for a plethora of reasons. One of them mostly the border. But do you find, what's the biggest challenge that you find as a Canadian wrestler?
It's weird. It's weird because like I feel like in this point in my career,
Okay,
I really feel like I'm hitting my stride. But like at the same time, like like the border is definitely a big issue. But I think the border is such a big issue is because it's so much more mainstream in the States.
Yeah.
Like it's weird to say, but like wrestling's almost still underground in Canada. And like, if you could compare the two, but like there's so much happening in Canada at the same time, with all like the great shows out east and the shows out west here in Alberta, BC, and Saskatchewan. Like there's so much good stuff going on, but it just hasn't like broken that surface of like gaining that outward attraction that like big companies like like the old Ring of Honors and PWG and GCW, like all of them, like they've broken through like the proverbial glass ceiling of like being well known, and they bring people constantly. It was like we're still working our way through that somehow, and it's a little tough. That's all.
Yeah. I forgot. I had a question, and now I forgot. It will come back to me one of these times. We'll have to have you on again because it's not going to come back in the near future. But with that being said, we are near the end of the program, near the end of the spot here. We've had your links going out. But
thank you so much.
Yeah, anytime. This is the time of the show where I shut my mouth and I give the proverbial mic to you. You can put over anything you want. You can say anything you want. You can bury Spencer Love if you want, or anyone else. We will not interrupt. The floor is yours.
All right. God, when this ever comes up, I feel like I don't remember everything, but at the same time, I get reminded after. I have so much to remind. Follow me on my socials, of course, the Thickness7 on Twitter and Instagram. My streaming Thick Gaming, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube. Follow the Short Kings on YouTube. Can't forget that one as well. Definitely support your indie wrestling anywhere you can. Be it if you're watching their clips or going to the shows, just please support. It's the best thing you can do for any of us. And I think that's it. I think I hit everything. I'll probably be reminded afterwards I forgot something.
Someone will get you. They'll say, you didn't mention this. The Short Kings on YouTube, huh?
The Short Kings, yep. The Mars the Specialist and I have a YouTube channel where we put all our promos on for all the shows we've done. I think we're at episode 13.
Short King?
The Short Kings.
The Short Kings.
I think like one of the episodes come up. The channel takes a little bit to come up for some reason.
I'll find it. I'll get there. This will be the rest of my night. The Short Kings. All right, I'll find it. It'll turn up here sooner or later. Oh, people use a lot of Short Kings in there.
Yeah, I learned that the hard way too after I made everything.
In their thing.
Maybe, or is it, did I call it Short Kings instead of the Short Kings?
I don't know. Vanessa's already on it. She's gonna find it.
It's there. I know it is. I probably
I
could just do it this
we
way.
got some chat.
Accounts.
We got some chatters in the chat. One of them says, erush710 says he is the Short King. And then Lord Twat Waffle, phenomenal name, says that's a great name for a YouTube channel. So
Yep, myself and Mars, a specialist, 2 Short Kings, just trying to find our way. Oh, man, why can't I can't even find it right now? What is going on?
That's all right.
Usually, when you used to type it in, one of our episodes come out because there is like other channels and whatnot. But for some reason,
Give me the name of an episode. Do you know? A name? Is there a name?
I have to remember off the top of my head. Endgame on a pole was one of them.
Game on a pole.
Yeah. Oh, here it is. I have it. I will see. I can.
Oh, I think I found it. This
You got it? Okay. It's not. I have.
This looks like.
I threw the link in the chat.
Okay. We'll get there.
Yeah, Endgame on a pole. I think that was episode 11.
Oh yeah. I found it.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, nice. Okay.
And me and my twin.
Allegedly, is that your real twin?
No, it's not actually.
Oh, shouldn't have told me.
We are nowhere near related to each other.
We'll edit
but yet
that.
we always
Edit that out.
we made the joke right off the bat when we first started wrestling each other that we're like if you played a fighting game and you both chose the same character, but he's like a slightly different color.
Oh, I'm looking at it in black and white.
Yep.
The profile's in black and white. You should still tell people that.
We do it all the time, and it's funny. We've even had moments where because it's very weird. We're like super in sync.
Yeah.
For like not being related and not actually being twins, to the point we were sitting there and we both made the same joke and then both laughed at it, and then a fan came up to us just like, oh yeah, haha, it's a gimmick, and I looked at him like, it's not a gimmick, this is legit, we always do this.
Oh, this is cool.
We're somehow on the same page all the time.
Nice. Spectacular. Vanessa found it as well. I'll tell you what, Reid, you've been a pleasure to have on. You're part of Love Pro Wrestling, so you're welcome back here anytime as well.
Thank you.
Need to plug anything you want to talk about? Fucking Parks and Rec. You want to talk about Parks and Rec? Come back and we'll do an entire show on Parks and Rec.
All right.
It will
when
literally
when I start it,
be the
we'll
best
go at it. Okay.
Your wife will love it.
Yep.
Your wife watches
Perfect.
The Office with you?
Yep.
Yeah. Who's your favorite character on The Office?
Who would be my favorite character?
I'll tell you mine.
God, why do I just forget his name?
Oh, please say it.
Describe
him. That's the best way to do it. Just describe who he is.
He's the bigger accountant fellow.
Kevin?
Kevin.
Yeah.
Kevin's one of my favorites.
Kevin's good.
Creed is one of my favorites. Every now and then he's got some good one-liners.
You love Creed?
Love Creed.
I mean, I feel like it goes without saying Michael. Michael's hilarious.
I like Toby.
Also a good one. A real good one.
His demeanor and facial expressions when Michael just basically buries him are classic.
Yeah, so it's so on point.
The Office is not overrated. Someone in the chat tell me The Office is overrated.
That's terrible opinion.
Yeah,
sorry, not sorry.
He's a terrible person. That's why.
You just don't really understand The Office, okay?
He doesn't understand The Office. Lord Twat Waffle, with a great handle, says, how can you not like Dwight?
Dwight is good.
I think everyone likes Dwight. That just comes with the territory.
Dwight is good.
Yeah.
But there's that's what makes.
You gotta watch the UK Office.
I try to watch the UK Office.
Where is it on? What streaming service is it on?
Well, mine's on Peacock.
Probably an illegal one.
Fair. Honestly, fair.
Oh, the person that said The Office is overrated has never seen The Office.
See, that's the thing. If you think The Office is overrated, you've never seen The Office.
Typical. Absolutely typical. I would have never seen The Office if it wasn't for my oldest daughter. My oldest daughter was watching it, and I wanted to bond with her because she's like 13, never talks to me. So I was like, I'm gonna watch this show with her, and it was great. It was phenomenal, and ever since then I've watched it. It's not how over underrated works. That's exactly how over and underrated works. Get out of here. Someone ban him from the chat. The illegal one. But yeah, anytime you want to come back on, your wife, you guys want to talk Parks and Rec, The Office, we can break it down. We can put over The Office. I got no problem with that.
I'll let her know.
Anytime. Also let her know, thank you for allowing you to give us your time tonight. So.
Oh, she was excited too. She was excited too. She's my number one supporter at the end of the day.
Oh yeah?
Every time I'm unsure of something, she's right there to push me forward, right? Like it's interesting, like she is so supportive for my wrestling.
Oh cool.
That I feel like most people wouldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Right? Like she's okay with me like taking the flights and trying to go do shows or putting the kilometers on the road.
Nice.
Right? And like, there's a bunch of stuff coming down the pipe, and she's just like, "Yeah, go ahead. Oh, you should do this. Oh, call these people. I'll do this." Like 100%, my biggest support, and honestly, couldn't do anything without her.
Spectacular, touche. All right. I feel like I'll just keep rambling on. Reid, thank you for giving us your time tonight once again. And good luck at Love Pro Wrestling.
Thank you.
And you're welcome back anytime. Have yourself a glorious night.
Thank you. You as well.
Yeah. Peace.
Thank you so much for having me on.
Later. Oh, spectacular. Lord Twat Waffle. I'm being told in the Twitch chat that we are going on an ad break in 10 seconds.